Hello students, here is your Neelam madam with a new video. As in our earlier classes we have discussed about the mixture. So today we will discuss about different separation techniques of mixtures. Here we will see number of techniques to separate a mixture. Just go through the video carefully. So here we start. A separation process is a method that converts a mixture into its pure form. We can separate different mixtures basing on their properties, and more in the difference in the properties, the more easier to separate the mixture. Separation technique is very useful to remove impurities that are harmful. Here we can take an example of separating tea bead. Separation technique can also be obtained to separate the useful component from the unuseful component, and it is also to obtain a pure sample of a substances. So let's talk about the different method. First let's talk about sublimation. Here we can take an example of two naphthalene balls. You can see when these naphthalene balls are exposed to air, they will reduce their size. This is because sublimation. Solids have a tendency to convert into liquid when exposed to heat, and solids sometimes also converts to gas directly when exposed to heat or atmospheric temperature. The same happens with the naphthalene balls. When they are exposed to the atmospheric air, they will sublimate and they will reduce their size. Here we are having an experimental setup to show sublimation. Here we got a china dish which contains a mixture of ammonium chloride and sand. Above it we got a inverted funnel whose mouth is closed with a cotton plug, and down we got a heater to apply heat. It can also be called as Bunsen burner. So when we apply heat to the china dish, you can see all the ammonium chlorides as a sublimate, they will convert into gas, leaving behind the sand particle, and that ammonium chloride gas can again be converted into ammonium chloride crystal by cooling. So here we can separate the sand and ammonium chloride mixture. Let's talk about dissolving. Dissolving is also done to separate two solid mixtures. Here we can take an example. Here we have taken some common salt, sand, water, a filter paper, two beakers, a kettle and a metal plate and some ice. Again we can use a Bunsen burner. So in a salt solution we can apply or we can add some sand. When we will stir the solution, it will convert into a muddy water. When we'll allow it to settle for some time, all the sand particle will be settled down and the remaining salt water can be separated from the beaker. We can also some other technique, like we can use the filter paper and we can separate the sand from the salt solution. This is called dissolving. So again here we have separated the sand, but here we got salt water and we need to separate the salt from water. Now we got the next process called evaporation. So in evaporation we will apply heat to the mixture of or to the solution of what? Salt water. You can see here the water will convert into vapor. We can also convert back it into liquid by condensation process. That is not our today's discussion. So let's talk about evaporation. The same example that we are talking about, when we will apply heat on a salt solution, gradually the water particle will convert into vapor, leaving behind the solid salt particles down. You can see here how nicely the salt particles are settling down and the water particles are getting evaporated. This experiment can be nicely done at home. You can do it by your own. You can see how nicely the salt particles are settling down due to the process of evaporation of water. The next process we can talk about distillation and fractional distillation. So here we can talk about two distillation processes. One is the simple distillation and one is the fractional distillation. So let's start with the simple distillation process. In simple distillation process, a solid can be separated from a liquid mixture. Here, let's take an example of seawater. We can separate the dissolved salt in the seawater and we can get a pure water. So here, like this, we can separate the solid and liquid by simple distillation process. Here, some of the apparatus which is required for the separation techniques. Here is a round bottom flask where we will keep the solution. A valve, it will be closed. It is attached with the condenser. You can see in the condenser there is an inlet and also an outlet. From the inlet, the cold water will go in, and from the outlet, the hot water will come out. And down we can take a beaker. At the top of the funnel, we can take a thermometer to read the temperature. Let's see the process. When we will apply heat to the seawater, we can see the water by using temperature get converged to vapor, and it will come or it will pass to the condenser. In the condenser, the vapor can be condensed by applying cold water to the condenser, and we can get a pure water in the beaker, leaving behind the salt in the round flask. So this is a method of simple distillation by which we can separate a solid liquid mixture. But just imagine if it is a mixture of different types of liquids like methanol, ethanol, propanol and all. So what about this? How we can separate the different liquid mixtures by using distillation process? So here we cannot separate this mixture by simple distillation. Rather, we have to use a new technique called fractional distillation. So let's talk about the technique fractional distillation. It is based on the principle of boiling point. So here also we can take a laboratory setup like round bottom flask, a condenser, a beaker and a fractionating column. This is an important part of the fractional distillation. The fractionating column, you can see it is a little bit longer. Why it is long, I will explain you while giving the explanation. Here in the round bottom flask, we can use the three liquid that we have talked about earlier like methanol, ethanol and propanol. This is a liquid mixture. You can see here all of them are having different boiling point. So let's see how it works. When temperature is applied to the bottom flask with the mixture of liquid solution, at first methanol evaporates as it has the lowest boiling point, that is 65 degrees Celsius, and it gets condensed in the condensing column and we can get a pure methanol. Sometimes ethanol and propanol can also be evaporated, but it cannot reach up to the condenser because it will cool there and it will come down. This is the use why the tube is long, because it will allow them to cool. After some time, when we will rise the temperature for 78 degrees Celsius, we can see that the ethanol start evaporating, and by the same process ethanol can be extracted separately in a separate beaker. So here we got a pure propanol in the round bottom flask, so we need not to separate. If you want, then we can again apply heat of 97 degrees Celsius for confirmation, and that will also convert into gas. Here we will discuss about crystallization. This is the another process. So crystallization is a process where we can extract the crystal form from a solution. So here we can take a mixture of water and sugar. You might have observed your mother at home preparing sugar syrup for making sweets. So when you will allow that syrup to cool, after some times you can observe fine particles of sugar suspended down. So these fine particles are having definite geometrical shape and are formed by natural process. This is called crystallization. Next is the centrifugation technique. Here we can take an example of blood sample for centrifugation technique. This is a centrifuge machine. You can see here it got several buttons to set the speed and to set the temperature. So it acts basically on the tendency that the lighter and denser particle can be separated by rotating them in a high speed. You can see here there are several chambers present here in the centrifugation machine. This is also called centrifuge. We can also add, or we can also put the blood sample in the centrifuge. Later we can see, when we will rotate it, we can see the separation of the solid particles of blood down and the liquid particle up. Means the corpus cells will be down and the plasma will be at the top. This is because the high speed rotation of the centrifuge machine. This is called actually centrifugal force. When we will allow the blood sample to rotate, then a centrifugal force is created which makes the heavier particle or the solid particle to settle down and the lighter particle or the plasma particle to settle up. Now we can separate the plasma from the blood. Next technique is the separating funnel technique. So a separating funnel is a special type of funnel which is a stop clock. You can see here it is used to allow the liquid to pass, or we can stop the liquid to pass. Here we can take an example of two immiscible liquids. What do you mean by immiscible? Immiscible means two liquids which cannot be mixed with each other. We can take an example of oil in water. So here we will take an example how to separate oil from water. As an example, here we can take water and to that we can add some oil. Let's take mustard oil in water. So here we use a retort stand, beaker, clamp, separating funnel, mustard oil and water. We will add mustard oil and water to the funnel and we will mix it well. Then by using the clamp, we will attach the separating funnel to the stand. Then we will allow it to settle down, and after some times we can observe that above the mustard oil being heavier or less denser than water will be settled up, and water as more heavier than mustard oil will be settled down. See how we can separate water by using the stop clock. Then we can separate the mustard oil from the water. So this is the separation technique used. So students, here we have talked about different separation techniques. At first we have talked about sublimation, you can see, and then we have talked about dissolving. You can see here these are the two techniques to separate solid mixture. When we want to separate solid mixture, anyhow we have some other examples also, like hand picking, winnowing, sieving. These all you have studied in your 6th class, that's why I have not mentioned. So here we have discussed about sublimation, where we have taken a mixture of sand and ammonium chloride, and also we have talked about dissolving, where we have talked about how to separate sand and salt by dissolving them in water. Next we have talked about the separating technique for solid and liquid mixture. Here we had talked about evaporation. In evaporation we can separate a salt particle from water or a sugar particle from water. So this is the evaporation process we have talked. Next we have talked about distillation process. In distillation I had mentioned about two kind of distillation, like fractional distillation, and this is the fractional distillation, and this is the simple distillation. I have mentioned it at a time. Okay, so the major difference in simple distillation and fractional distillation is, in the simple distillation process we will separate the solid liquid mixture. We will separate the solid liquid mixture, but in fractional distillation we will separate the liquid mixture. Okay, so in simple distillation we had already talked about the apparatus required for simple distillation process. Okay, and after simple distillation we had talked about crystallization process. Okay, where we can find out the crystal by evaporating the water. The difference between evaporation and crystallization is that in evaporation we need not to cool, but in crystallization, after applying heat to the solution, we need to cool it for some time. Then we can get the crystal. Next we had talked about centrifugation. Okay, centrifugation is a very important technique. Here actually centrifugation means actually centrifugation means rotation. Okay, rotation in a high speed. Okay, and when we will rotate in a high speed, a centrifugal force is applied, okay, by which the heavier particles are settled down and the lighter particles will be at the top. Okay, here we have talked about the centrifugation of blood. Okay, the centrifugation of blood. So actually centrifugation has been in use since a long time, because churning of milk to separate cream and butter is a most widely used centrifugation technique. Okay, so about centrifugation in detail you will have in your higher class. Some of the things that you need I had mentioned in the video. Again go through the video if you got any confusion. Next we had these all we had discussed for separating the solid and liquid mixture. Here see, in evaporation, separation of salt from water, that is a mixture of solid liquid. In simple distillation, the separation of any solid particle, like salt in water also we can take. Any solid particle in water we can take in simple distillation. In crystallization also, salt in water or sugar in water. In centrifugation also, solid components of blood from the liquid components of blood. Okay, here we have taken the example of blood. So many other examples also we can take. Okay, here the next one is the separating liquid mixture. Here we had talked about the separating funnel I had mentioned in the video. Okay, this is the separating funnel, and this technique is generally used to separate the immiscible liquids. What is immiscible liquid? Means liquid that cannot be mixed with each other. Okay, that is immiscible liquid. We can a very simple example we can take oil and water, that is the immiscible liquid. Okay, so separating funnel is very widely used to separate the immiscible liquids. Okay, here the stop clock plays an important role. Next is the fractional distillation. As we had talked about distillation, the same as fractional distillation, only the difference here is that you can see here it got a fractionating column, but here it don't have a fractionating column. Okay, that is the major difference. Okay, here it is specialized for its fractionating column. So here it is used to separate the liquid mixture. It is actually widely used to separate the crude oils like petroleum and all, kerosene and all. Okay, so here the separation technique is mainly based on the principle of boiling point. So depending upon the boiling point, we can separate the different liquids from a liquid mixture. The liquid having less boiling point will evaporate fast, and the liquid having high boiling point will evaporate at the last. Okay, here the fractionating column will play an important role. You can see this is little long. Why? Because as I had mentioned in the video, when one liquid will separate, there might be chance that two other liquid will get evaporate little. So here when they will evaporate and they will come in contact with the fractionating column, as it is little bit longer, they will again cool and settle down. They cannot enter into the condenser. And you can see here in the condenser it got an inlet pipe and an outlet pipe. Here also in simple distillation also you can see a inlet pipe and an outlet pipe. From the inlet pipe we will allow cold water. You can see here in the condenser at the middle a narrow pipe is there. From that narrow pipe the gas coming out from the round flags entering into the narrow pipe, and when these narrow pipe will come in contact with the cold water, that gas will be cooled and it will convert into liquid. We have discussed in the interchange of state, when gas is cooled down, it can convert into liquid. Okay, so here we are applying the cold water, and here from this way, as the vapors are a little bit hot, it can make the cool water hot. So the hot water will be drained out, and continuously we can add the cold water from this side. Okay, so like the same thing happened here also. The process of the condenser is same, only the fractionating column is different. Here the fractionating column is long and it is present here, but here the fractionating column is not there. Okay, so this is about the fractional distillation process. So fractional distillation, as I said, it is very important for oil refineries, okay, to separate crude oil into various useful substances such as petrol, diesel, kerosene and other fuels. Okay. You can see here some other separation techniques also given in your table. Here already these parts we have discussed in our earlier classes. Okay, so here it is given types of mixture like salt, sand and grain. How you will separate salt, sand and grain? Okay, at first grain can be separated. Okay, grain is separated from the mixture by sieving. We can use sieving, or else we can use simple hand picking method. But here sieving process is more suitable, because grain is also maybe it may be white in color, and salt is also it may be white in color. So sieving is an appropriate technique. So you can go through the table. Okay, it is just given in your book. Just go through the table like this. Some types of mixture I may give you during exam, and I will ask you the different separating methods to separate the mixture, and you have to write the regions also, that why you have applied the particular separation technique. Okay, so this is all about the separation technique that we have discussed. Again go through the book, again go through all the topic, again go through the video. Okay, in the next class we will discuss the chromatography. Till then, goodbye and take care.